I don't know how many times I have to remind people that white people are not the morality standard, socioculturally, sociopolitically, geopolitically, historically, on the basis of humanity, because white history, imperialism, colonialism, and the delusion of white supremacy are the most violent, unethical, and illegitimate systems of oppression that have never been reprimanded, and white people have never paid reparations for the harm that they have done to black and brown people across the globe. Mind you, they could never pass the purity test that they are obsessively trying to give black women on a daily basis, because that would require being honest about history, about their place in it, their role in it, past and present, about the fact that chattel slavery still exists. It never went away here on U.S. soil and beyond. Genocide never ended here on U.S. soil and beyond, and the cognitive dissonance is coming from the fact that white people do not register that they are still a part of the oppressor class. As long as they have not been reprimanded, as long as reparations have not been paid, they are the oppressors. They are not the puritanical morality standard. And because they have evolved epigenetically with unreprimanded colonialism, imperialism, and the delusion of white supremacy, they automatically see themselves as authoritarian figures, which is why they're constantly trying to establish themselves as cops and police everything black and brown people are doing. The police state was designed to be a continuation of genocide and a vehicle for chattel slavery that specifically targets black people. White people could use their privilege to solve these problems, but they choose not to. They are not targets of the police state. They have the privilege, they have the resources, they have the systemic power, and they choose not to. White leftists specifically, who are constantly spouting 200-year-old theory by European white men that was not designed to solve the systemic issues of racialized oppression in the West, could apply that theory that they are demanding everyone operate on, but they don't, because they don't want to. The only functional example that they have of Marxism, communism, socialism, etc. working is the Black Panther Party. They are not up to date in their theory. They have no history of that being a practice here in the West. We are not living in the East. This is the West, where racialized chattel slavery and genocide are the pervasive, continuous systems. Black and brown victimhood was designed to exist in perpetuity because the systemic oppression of white supremacy was never intended to not exist. If white people genuinely wanted liberation, they could, but they are oppressors. Oppressors are not liberators, which is why they are constantly trying to derail black and brown effort. Always. And they have this internalized white supremacy, this internalized white cis hetero patriarchy, this internalized colonialism and imperialism that, again, they have epigenetically evolved with. Which is why they are not working to uninternalize it. And unfortunately, when it comes to politics, when it comes to intersectional leadership, like black women, for example, these are the same people who don't recognize that they are already operating within a base level of misogynoir and subconscious and conscious bias. And they are trying to push purity tests on black women to affirm that bias, that confirmation bias, that black people can't be trusted. If you are white, why do you think you should be trusted? What have you done for black people? What have you done for brown people? What land have you given back? What reparations have you paid? That European theory, again, that's 200 years old, you haven't applied it. You're trying to scapegoat black labor because y'all don't actually want to do it. Because you can look at things theoretically when you're a part of the oppressor class and when you're not actually experiencing the subjugation that you are perpetuating. But also, black people, let's not pretend like our community does not have a real history of attempting to bypass and avoid and deny black victimhood. And that is internalized white supremacy. When you are black and your critique of black women is only garnering celebration from white people, there is a blind spot in your liberation. There's a blind spot in your politic. And I'm not saying that black people are above criticism, that black politicians are above reproach, but there is something very odd about being black and being a soft landing space for other people's misogynoir, for their white supremacy. And that is what is happening. And there are these fake white leftists who are claiming, I'm critical of everybody, da-da-da-da-da-da. But then if I go to your reply on Threads, why is there 100 critiques of black women and no critiques of white people? There's receipts. You can see people's replies on Threads. Why are you constantly in black people's comments arguing, trying to dissuade black leadership? Because that is what white leftist politic is. White leftists do not understand that they are the modern day white liberals that black leaders warned us about, because the white liberals evolved, or devolved, as I should say, into moderate conservatives. And white leftists have now become the white liberals. The reason why you think that nothing you're saying is misogynoir is because you're still an oppressor. In a world where racism still exists and the delusion of white supremacy is the pervasive and dominating societal system, you will never run out of white people to correct. You will never run out of white people to convert from racist to non-racist. But unfortunately, black people, brilliant black people who do have valid criticisms, there are so many white people looking at your dissent of black people, of black women in leadership, as a way to scapegoat their white supremacy. They are looking to hide behind you. I'm not saying this is true of every single black person who's critical of black women in leadership, but what I'm saying is that there are more racists than not. And there are very few white people who really completed that uninternalizing of white supremacy, that decolonizing, that deconstructing. Very, very few. Very few. And everybody white thinks they're the exception, and they're not. Which is why most people's politics continues to fall apart on misogynoir and anti-blackness. White people, does not matter your political affiliation, your demographic, white people overwhelmingly put a fascist in office. That was your community. Doesn't matter if you're a communist, a Marxist, a Democrat, a socialist, you're whatever. It doesn't even matter how you voted. What matters is the overwhelming majority of your community voted for this. So you're not in a position to puritanical politic with anybody. You should be puritanical testing your own community. Puritanical morality police white people. Because y'all have done nothing for black people. Y'all have done nothing for black improvement. Y'all have done nothing for indigenous improvement, for brown people. Y'all have done nothing but continue to be the bully victims in every situation. Your critique needs to be primarily targeted at white people. You think that you have intellectually bypassed white supremacy through leftism, and you're still behaving as white supremacists, regurgitating white supremacy. And unfortunately, black people, we are guilty of intellectualizing our way through internalized white supremacy to avoid victimhood, to avoid the label of victimhood. We're already surpassing the oppressor. As long as chattel slavery still exists and has not been reprimanded, as long as reparations have not been paid, we're still operating in a system of white supremacy. And white people's opinion about politics, we've been subject to white people's opinions about politics, and look at where this country's at.